Okay, now we can raise our line and we can go on to our next course again. So each time we raise the top of the line block to our mark. Now we can spread our mortar again. And again, each time you do, take just a few seconds, mix up the mortar a little bit. It adds air to it, gives it a little more workability. And we'll spread it again. Again, as you do that, do it slow, and it doesn't have to be done in a quick motion. And then add a little bit at the ends, and then just with the tip of your trowel, push the mortar out to the front of the brick so we make sure we fill all the voids and then scrape off the excess. Now let's start from this end and work forward this time. So we'll place the brick down. Again, tap it down with your trowel, scrape it off, tip that trowel so that you collect that mortar, and now you're ready to butter the next brick. You might have to go back to your mud board, get a little more mortar. Again, tap it down, scrape the mortar off. Catch it, shake it onto your trowel, and we're ready to go to the next brick. Now as you're laying that, you want to make sure that you don't touch that line. So as you lay that brick, lift your thumb up just a little bit so you don't touch the line, and tap it down to the line. The reason you don't want to touch that line is normally you'll have more than one bricklayer laying to that line. If you're continually touching that line, it's not in a stationary position. It's hard to get that brick accurate to the line. Again, you make sure you collect that mortar that you've scraped off, shake it on a little bit, spread that, butter the end of the brick, and tap it into place. Collect that mortar. Now we're ready to lay another half. I've already made one with my hammer. Again, I'll turn it, butter one end, and I'll slide it into place. Now, again, you look at the joints, they're all full. They have no voids in them. That's the way we want them to look. Okay, now we're ready to raise the line and we can lay our next course. And in this next course, I want to show you a few things that I want you to look at as you're laying the individual bricks. I'm out of mortar right now, so now we'll go and make a little more mortar, and then we can go and lay some more brick. Okay, now I want you to notice how close we lay the brick to the line. We push it down, tap it with our trowel. We don't want to touch the line. We want to be about 1/16 of an inch away. And you can see that right there. We want to be to the top of the line and about 1/16 of an inch. We don't want to touch that line with our brick. That's the location we want to lay to the line. Again, tap it down. Don't touch the line. We want to be just slightly away from it, the top of the brick to the top of the line. Now you also might notice that as we lay those brick, we look down the joints to make sure we're on bond. These joints should all line up. That means when we get to the end, the brick is going to fit in. Okay, now I want you to notice, as I lay this brick in, on this particular brick, I'm doing it on purpose, but I'm getting the back high and the front is to the line, but the back is too high, you can notice how the front of that brick looks. Now, if you put a level on that, you could really see it. All we have to do then is tap that back down, and you notice how flush, nice that looks on the front. This next brick now, I'll lay it with the back low. I'm going to lay my brick to the line, but I'm going to push the back down too low, and look what happens. I get a big lip there. Now, the only way we can make that look decent is to pick that brick up again, put mortar under the back. That's one thing we'll run into. So when you lay your brick, come down to the line, and then if you have to take the back down, take it down. But get the front down to the line so we don't run into this problem of having the back too low. We can always take the back down, but if we get the back too low, then we have to pick the brick up and lay it again. Okay, now we've got the wall laid up. Now I want to show you what to do with the joints, how to use the joiner and the rake to make the joints have a nice appearance. I'm going to show you two different types of joiners to use. The first one is the concave or round joiner. Now in this joiner, we're going to use this part of the joiner to run it along the joints to make it a concave, smooth appearance. Run it back and forth a couple times on each joint. Then we'll use this part of the joiner to get what we term the head joints. And we'll smooth those joints. This gives it a nice concave, smooth appearance. And then when we get done, we brush that and we have a finished wall. Now the other type of a joint is where we take the rake. Now this is the little tool with the wheels and a little cement nail in it. We've set that about 3/8 of an inch deep. We drag that along the joints, and that recesses the mortar joint. And we do the head joints as well. And again, we brush that wall, and then we have a nice finished product. And notice the joints are pretty much the same size. We want to really work at keeping the joints the same size so that when we do rake it out or we do tool it, we have an attractive, uniform, nice looking wall. And that's how we finish. That's two ways, and that's basically the two ways we finish the joints when we lay brick. Okay, now I'd suggest that you take 40, 50 hours practicing laying a brick to the line. It's going to take many hours before your wall will look like this one. But if you'll practice at this station, laying the brick to the line, concentrating on keeping the joints even, keeping the brick close to the line but not touching it, keeping the face of the brick, don't get mortar on the face